Clutching feathers is a defense against a single hand hair grab. It gets its name feathers, obviously, from your hair and the word clutch, referring to the grab itself. So let's take a look.
Future Geoff here. Let me perform this technique for you once in the air. With this and every technique, it's really important that we focus on each strike as being the strike that ends the fight. So when I begin this technique, I'm pinning, I'm guarding my face with my forearm, and when I strike into his ribs, I want that to be a rib-breaking, rib-shattering strike. And I may end up firing 2 or 3 of those to finally compel the opponent to let go. Now, same principle here with the heel palm. Don't let it be a chop from your shoulder or from your opposite hip, but bring it into your solar plexus and push it out in a strong stance. And this is the heel palm that ends the fight. Similarly for the front kick and the hammer fist, settling with marriage of gravity. We even utilize a rear crossover back kick.
So what happened? He's grabbing. My concern isn't really the grab, it's his punch, or his legs, or him pulling me to the ground. So to try to prevent all of that, I'm going to reach up and pin. If I just pull on his wrist, I'm going to lose my hair, but if I pin, the pain is gone. The other thing I'm going to do is use my forearm to cover my face. So I've got my pin, tight grab here. Pin, I'm stepping back and striking. Marriage of gravity up into the ribs. Hopefully, by me stepping, do you see how I've rotated his shoulders just a little bit? So I have depth and then width to keep that punch away from me. Now, assuming that my punch into the ribs has encouraged him to let go, I'm going to execute an extended outward block to get that arm off of my head. At the same time, from the top of my head, I'm going to pivot and strike. Notice there wasn't a lot of wind-up. I didn't have to bring it around and loop it or anything. I just went straight from my head to the ribs and kick. So that's an insert you could think about for hammer fisting. And do try to capitalize on marriage of gravity with that hammer fist. Low. And when I strike low there, I actually have my fingers pointed, in this case, towards you. Let's try it from the other side. See, I'm being grabbed. Stance, there we go. Pin and strike. My fingers are actually pointed towards you, and I'm hitting with the edge of my hand, almost like a chop there to the ribs. And that's going to bring him closer. Let's go back to our original position. So clearly at the end there we're using height. The strike to the ribs brings him over, and the hammer fist through continues his doubling over. So depth, width, and height. We see, again with the grab, marriage of gravity here, and torque for the heel palm, and then torque again for the hammer fist. I'm targeting the temple, and I'm raking through the eye and the nose there at the end. I do see some people do a heel palm to the chin, which isn't bad, obviously. If it hurts him, good job. But if he's leaning back, I may not have that final hammer to the side of the head. So obviously you'll roll with the punches there. I also see some people use what's called an eagle's beak, which looks kind of like this. They take a regular fist and they just poke out that knuckle, and they use that to strike with into the armpit. Now the armpit is soft enough that you could probably get away with that, and if you're comfortable with it, then by all means use it. I always feel weird. I feel like I have to align my wrist differently in order to focus with that knuckle, and I feel like that knuckle is just going to push itself down. So my preference is just the standard issue vertical fist, vertical punch, just like that with the 2 big knuckles into the ribs. That's what I prefer. So again, he's grabbing. So I've got the pin, I'm guarding my face, I'm stepping back, striking into the ribs. Now you may find yourself on the outside of his leg, like I do here. You may want to clear his arm this way if you're on the outside and make your cover out over here. In the technique though, let's assume, right, you have to make a certain list of assumptions here. Assume that he stays somewhat open, right, because he wants to hit with that hand. So I got the strike, I've still got the center line, heel palm, and hammer. So there you have it for clutching feather.